What's going on, guys? Right, if you want to be healthier and happier, then watch this video to the end. I'm just going to give you my perspective on your body healing and taking medicines and pharmaceutical drugs. Okay, so I'm going to give like a very general overview of what my perception and my opinion is with regards to going to the doctors, taking medicines, pharmaceutical drugs being the solution to your ailments, your issues, your illnesses. Okay, and this is just my perspective. I'm not saying it's right. If you've got a different perspective, that's cool. Put it in the comments below. You can comment below. I'd love to know your perspective on this whole thing. But anyway, I'm going to share with you mine. So now, what often is the status quo, the ordinary thing to do is you've got an ailment, you've got an issue, you've got something wrong with you, then you'll go to the doctors. Yeah, if a rash comes up, if a symptom comes up, if you have digestive issues, you don't feel right, you feel sick, you've got a headache, anything like that, any physical symptoms, the advice is go and see the doctor, and the doctor will solve your problems for you. Now, most of the solutions, most of the time, the curriculum for teaching, doctors and what to do tends to be a pharmaceutical drug. Yeah, so they look at what you're lacking. Let's take, for example, people come into the doctor's office and they're depressed, they're anxious, yeah, they can't cope with life anymore. Now, they look at, there's a chemical imbalance, there's not enough serotonin or dopamine or whatever it might be, so they give it to them in a pill form and then they take the pill. Okay, that's kind of like the way that most doctors, most of the time, work when it comes to going through like GP surgeries and stuff. And this is not a knock on any doctors, by the way, or nurses or anything like that. This is the curriculum. This is the way that they're taught as they go through like medical school, which is to most of the time it's a pharmaceutical solution. Yeah. Now, doesn't it make sense to look at what the cause is and make prevention of the disease and the ailments the key thing? Of course it does, or at least educating people on exactly why that ailment might have arose and give them advice and information on how to stop it happening again and not relying on taking medicines to deal with symptoms. Does that make sense? Is that agreeable? So, for instance, let's go back to the one where someone goes to the doctor's office and they're saying they're depressed, they're not feeling themselves right. They get some serotonin in tablet form to balance out the chemicals in their brain. Instead, my opinion is that the main focus should be on looking at why is there a lack of that in the first place. Why is there a lack of that in the first place? And usually it's because of one of the following. It's usually a lack of exercise. It's usually poor emotional intelligence and not educated on how to deal with your emotions and your thoughts. Some issue with your nutrition. There's not enough diversity, freshness. There's too many chemicals and shit in the food system. So there's loads of stuff that can be done. Tons of stuff that's scientifically proven. It's not woo-woo stuff. It's commonly known, that is going to create a healthier system for me. So people educated on what to do and how to do it, and if they're struggling to do it, why they might be struggling to do it, what might be perpetuating their tendency to not do anything. Yeah, why are they struggling with getting motivated and getting going and getting the ball rolling with their fitness and their health? And most of the times it comes down to the hierarchy of values they got in their life, and they're placing other things above their own health, which is a backward way of doing things. Yeah, and it's most of the time they just need to be sat down and have a dialogue and just think about this stuff. If you sit down and really think about what is the most important thing, what is on top of your hierarchy of values in life? For me, it's my own well-being and health. And the reason being, and people say, that's a selfish way to look at things, selfish. And yeah, it is a selfish thing to do. It is a selfish thing to do. But what do you consider yourself? What do I consider myself? I consider my external environment a part of me. I consider people I interact with a part of me. I consider my family a part of me. So I'm going to do my best to make sure I show up with energy, with good, positive, vibrant energy, so that I can give to people, that I can be there for people, that I can support people, Because I'm useless. If I'm depressed and sad or pissed off all the time, I'm no use to anyone. What's the point making anything else the top of your hierarchy of values other than your own health? And here's the paradox of it, because when you do actually focus more attention on yourself and look after yourself, get yourself into good health, you are more capable of giving to others. Yeah, so if your priority, if you tell yourself, right, my priority is my kids, I've got to look after my kids, I've got to make sure I'm there for my kids, I've got to make sure they're happy and healthy and strong, well then, if that is truly your priority, you need to be able to make sure you're doing it for yourself. Yeah, you have to make sure you're doing it for yourself, because how are you supposed to help them do it when you can't do it? Yeah, you can't give what you don't have. So this is just a little video to your solution to all your problems when it comes to your health and your fitness, your mental health, physical health. It all comes down to what is the root cause of what's going on, not how do I mask the symptoms externally through taking pharmaceutical drugs, through watching TV, through eating shitty food, through drinking booze, through taking drugs, through anything. And I'm not saying there's not a place for any and all of that stuff. Nothing's inherently bad. Okay, but it's when you're relying on that external source to feeling healthy and happy. That's when it becomes an issue. Yeah. Okay, so have a little look at any ailments, any issues you have physically, and start really digging deep and really asking yourself, what could be the possible cause? And here's what science is. People say a lot about science and this study and blah blah blah. Science is a process. Science isn't a fixed thing. Science is a process of having a hypothesis and testing it out, and then seeing what the result is, and then getting another hypothesis if that didn't work, and then testing it out and seeing what the result is. So you've got to become a scientist with your own body, your own health, come up with a hypothesis, educate yourself on what the cause of certain things might be when it comes to your health, physical and mental, and then test stuff out, try different approaches. That doesn't work, okay, let me go back to the drawing board with it. Okay, so just wanted to do this little video and hope that it might help people. I don't want to make it too long, so I'm going to cut it off here. All right, peace out, love ya, hope you have a good day.